This mini split air conditioner and heat pump has been amazing. I've been using it for several weeks now, and first of all, listen, you can hardly hear it. This thing is cranking. It's over 100 degrees out. It's one of the hottest days of the year, and this room is completely cool. And this is a large room. As you can see, it goes here and then all the way back there, and there's some more area back there. All of that is staying nice and cool. This thing is awesome. So there's a remote control, and you can control the whole thing. With the remote, you can just go in there and type the temperature. You can put the mode in. You can put there's a sleep thing on there. You can set the temperature. You can put it on turbo, fan, eco. You can put a timer on it. That's pretty cool. What's really cool is how quiet this thing is. You can't even hear it. I was so worried when we put this in that it was going to be really loud. I have my little office space right here that I work on, and it's pretty close to the air conditioner, but you can't even hear the air conditioner. It works great, which is awesome. The thing that I absolutely love about it though is it's a smart air conditioner. What does that mean? You can control it through your phone. So I'm going to show you that now. And before I do that, let me show you the unit outside and what that looks like. It's so hot out, I don't even want to go out there right now. So here's the outdoor unit. Now we have a rock wall there, and so we couldn't secure it to the wall, so we built a platform for it. But it's on there really well. And it's so cold inside that my camera was so cold that it's fogging up outside. It's so hot. But look how quiet this thing's going. You can't even hear it. It's a nice unit. So we've got the lines coming out there, and we have a disconnect, and everything's nice and tidy and neat. And it's just here out of the way, working great. All right, so I just want to show you this app. This thing is amazing. So once the air conditioner mini split was installed, I put it into this app. So I hit this little plus sign right here, and I clicked add device, and it searched for the mini split. It found it, and then it added it. It took like 2 minutes. So now the mini split's in here, and you can call it whatever you want. So right now I've set this to 73. You can see there, so hopefully there's not too big of a glare. And you got all these modes in here. So you could set it to heat, because it's got a heat pump on it, which is amazing, by the way. And then you could set it to cool. Did you hear it? It just beeped. So it just switched over to cool, and now I have it set to 73 degrees. But let's say I want it down a little bit. We'll go 72, 71, 70. And I can hear it beeping on the unit over there. So while I'm changing this on my phone, this just changed from 73 to 72 to 71 to 70. So it's matching up what's on here on the phone. So all that's really cool, and you might be thinking, oh, what's so great about that? Well, if you're not home, or you're running this at a business and you want to get the air conditioner started because you want to have a nice cool room when you're there, you can just do this at home. You can do this from across the country. I could do this on an airplane as long as I got internet. So that's an amazing feature, especially on a day like today, a hot summer day. It's 100 degrees out. So if I just come in and set the air conditioner, actually this one's pretty darn fast, but a lot of times you want to get it down to temperature earlier. You want to give it some time, so I can set this before I even leave the house, and then I come in here and it's nice and cool. The app is wonderful. It's so user-friendly. So you want to increase the temperature, you hit the plus up. You want to change the wind speed, you can change the wind speed. You got high, strong, medium. Right now I had it on auto. Now I just put it on high, and I can hear the unit cranking it up to high. But actually auto works pretty darn good. This thing puts out a lot of cool air, and it's not loud, which is just awesome. So you got wind speed, you got the modes I showed you, so you can change it over to heat, which is going to be wonderful in winter in Wisconsin. For example, maybe one day we have a really cold freeze and people's pipes are freezing up. Well, I can go on here, I can check the temperature of the building in this room, and I could turn the heat pump on. And not only that, I can automate all those things. I'll show you that in a second as well. So, and then there's this timer as well, which you can set. And then there's some more functions. So you can change, like if the buzzer goes off, you can check, let's see, there's the health. It's checking the health of it right now. There's the display you can turn on and off, self-diagnosis. There's lots of little tools. All of this is great and wonderful. The really cool feature is this. This app has a thing, it's called Scenes. So I can go in here and I can create a scene. And you can do automation scene or regular. So let me just show you this real quick. Here's one example. There's a million different scenes you could do. For example, a powerful one that a lot of people might use is a schedule. Say I'm here in this office every morning at 7 a.m. Well, I can set this to 6 a.m. and we could say repeat, and let's just repeat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday I'm out, and then Sunday and Saturday I'm not in the office. So we'll do it like that. We'll click the little back button. 6 a.m. we'll click next. Now we could say, well then, if this is saying if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's 6 a.m., then what do you want me to do? So let's tell it what to do. We can say control single device. We can click the mini split, and we can say power, and then we can click on. So now on those days, it will turn it on at 6 a.m. Well, what else do you want it to do? You can go in here and set the temperature. Well, at 6 a.m., I want it to be, let's say, 69 degrees. Hit save, and we'll hit next. And now we can save it. And we can name it 6 a.m. office. If I can type, office. Boom. Automation created, start using it. I'm going to say no because I don't want to start using it, but you would just say yes, and then every morning at 6 a.m. the air conditioner would turn on. That's pretty cool, right? Well, what's really cool is when you start getting more smart devices. The lights that you see reflected off the back here, those are all smart lights. I have smart lights throughout the building, and so we can do something like this. We could say on a schedule, or you can say when the device status changes, or when the location changes. This is a crazy one. So this one, you got to be careful with some of these because this one can be kind of sensitive depending how you do it. But you can say allow while using the app. You set this one up. And what you can do is, like when you leave the area, it'll know it. You got to set it all up. I'm not going to do that right now. When you leave the area, your device leaves the area, it'll know it. And you could say turn the air conditioner off when I leave the area. I just left the building. Another thing you can do that's really cool is, for example, this. When the weather changes, this is the outdoor temperature now. So let's say the weather changes and, okay, let's say we're under 32 degrees. Or just to be safe, let's say 40 degrees. No, let's say under 32. This is just an example. So when the temperature is less than 35 degrees in my city, it picks your city here. This is the external temperature. We can click next, and then we could say then, and then we could say, do like I just did before, we could say then, control single device, mini split, and we could say power on, and then we could say mode, and we could put the heat on. So if it gets like really cold, for example, we could do that. But of course, we could set that up for just the device itself because there's a thermostat on the device itself. If the thermostat device got down to a lower temperature, for example, we could have it kick back on. So there's so many things you can do with this. I'm normally comfortable at 70. It was too cold. I upped it to 73, and it's making this whole area cold and outside the door and around the corner and down the hall. It's doing like the whole area. I was just expecting this little room. More importantly, it's a heat pump. In winter, I can use it. I don't have to turn the whole furnace on and waste all that propane and gas. You can actually save a lot of money that way. So I know like heat pumps and electric heat is more expensive than, say, propane. However, if you're using a huge propane furnace to heat an entire house and you're only in one room, that statement isn't true. And I'm only in this one room most of the time. Most of the time, I don't need to fire up my entire furnace to heat the whole building when 99% of my time is right here on this chair. I can just turn that thing on and supplement it. I'm going to save a ton of money that way. So this thing is great. It was pretty easy to install. I was going to try to do that myself, but I didn't. I hired somebody because the mounting on the wall was tricky, and that's just because we have such an old building here with literal boulders for the foundation. A standard foundation, it would have been really easy. They sell a bracket for that outdoor unit I showed you. You screw the bracket into the wall and you set the unit on it, but my wall was too curvy. But the installation for the guy that did it was pretty darn simple. He put a disconnect out there, he ran some wires to it, and it was a couple hours he had the whole thing set up. So I'm really happy with this thing. I'm a proponent of mini splits now. I've never had one before, and I'm thinking about getting one at the house too. We have furnace and central air, but again, we have a big house. I'm very fortunate and blessed, but I hate turning that whole furnace on to heat an entire house when I only use maybe 8% of the house. I'm in one room all day. The girls are in school, I'm in my office. So I'd like to get one of these in my office, and then we can just supplement the heat. I don't got to crank the whole heat in the whole furnace, waste all that propane. So big thumbs up for this. Really cool mini split. Highly recommend it. Check it out.